Hello and welcome back to another episode of my random Formula 1 things. My name is Alex does F1 stuff, and today it is another episode of my double points finale series. So for those that are new to this series, I'll pop a playlist to the previous 3 episodes where we covered the first 15 years of Formula 1 in the playlist and as a card in the corner as well. So if you cast your minds back all the way to 2014, 6 years ago, Bernie Eccleston had the bright idea to introduce a double points finale at Abu Dhabi to hopefully spice up the entire championship. However, it didn't quite work and Hamilton ended up winning by over 63 points in the championship. So I thought, why not apply the same double points finale rule to every single Formula 1 season. And in today's episode we will be covering the seasons from 1965 all the way up to 1969. So in these 5 years we saw Jim Clarke win a championship and then 4 different people as well. Jack Brabham, Denny Hulme, Graham Hill and Jackie Stewart in 1969. So without further ado, we will start straight away in 1965, the year in which Jim Clarke won a Formula 1 World Championship. So round 1 starts us off in South Africa with Clarke taking a victory from Surtees and Graham Hill. However, Monaco Graham Hill comes back with a victory with Bandini second and Stewart 4th. So Hill now leads Clarke by 4 points. However, from Belgium, Clarke goes on a victory win streak, stretches his lead to 3 points. He wins again in France, stretching his lead to 10 points. Then again he wins in Britain, stretching his lead to 13 points over Graham Hill. Another victory in the Netherlands, stretching his lead to 19 points. And then a 5th victory in a row at Germany, stretching his lead to 22 points over his fellow Briton. So a fairly convincing season so far, but there are still 3 rounds left to go. Italy in Monza is where Clarke's win streak ends. He fails to score any points as Stewart comes away with a victory with Graham Hill second and Dan Gurney in third. His lead's now just 16 points. And as we head to the penultimate round in the US, Graham Hill comes away with a victory scoring 9 points, Dan Gurney second and Jack Brabham in 4th, with Clarke again failing to score. His lead is now just 7 points. So heading into the final round, it is only Graham Hill or Jim Clarke that can win this championship. So for Hill to win, he needs to finish first with Clarke third or lower. If he is second, Clarke has to be 5th or lower. Or if Hill finishes third, Clarke has to score no points, and then Hill will be the champion with my double points applied. However, as we head to Mexico in the final round, Richie Ginter comes away with a victory from Dan Gurney and Mike Spence. However, both Clarke and Hill, and also Stewart for that matter, fail to score any points. So it is Jim Clarke who maintains his 1965 World Championship status, even with the double points finale. So it didn't work in 1965 with Jim Clarke. How about 1966 with Jack Brabham when he wins the Drivers' Championship in his own car? So far the only driver to do so. We start the 66 season off in Monaco and Stewart comes away with a victory from Bandini and Graham Hill. Important to note there are only 4 scorers here, as F1 only counted points to those people that actually were classified in the race. So the people that failed to finish, they didn't score any points, even if they were within the point scoring positions. Also, I actually forgot to mention, people that are coloured brightly finish in the top 5 of the championship. It's just easier to track those that have an effect on the championship, and then everyone else is just alternating light grey and dark grey. So Belgium is up next, and Surtees comes away with a victory from Jochen Rindt and Bandini. So Bandini now leads from 1 point from Stewart, and Surtees as well with Rindt on 6 points. France sees the first victory for Jack Brabham, bagging himself 9 points with Parks second and Hulme 4 with Hulme third scoring 4 points. Brabham now takes the lead from Bandini 12 points clear. However, France was just the beginning of a 4-win streak for Brabham. He wins in Great Britain, scoring 9 points, stretching his lead to 10. He then wins in the Netherlands, scoring another 9 points, stretching his lead over Graham Hill now to 16 points. And he wins again in Germany, scoring yet another 9 points, stretching his lead over Graham to 22 points. But it all ends again in Italy, with Scarfiotti in the Ferrari, the Italian, scoring a victory at the Italian Grand Prix, but Brabham's lead is still 21 points. And as we head to the penultimate round at the US Grand Prix, oh, where's my animation? There we go. Jim Clarke comes away with a victory, Jochen Rindt second, with John Surtees in third. As the gap is 15 points to Rindt, it is only Jochen Rindt that can overhaul Jack Brabham for this championship, with him having to claim the victory, scoring the full 18 points available, with Jack Brabham scoring none. However, this is not the case, as in Mexico, Jack Brabham comes away in second place, with Surtees taking the victory, so we end with Brabham on 51 and Surtees on 37. So at the end of 1966, Jack Brabham is still a Formula 1 World Champion. I think that's 2 championships he's won now. However, we move to 1967, the year in which Denny Hulme won his first championship. I'm fairly sure I'm saying that name wrong. Anyway, we start the round off in South Africa, with Rodriguez coming away with a victory from Love and Surtees, but Monaco Hulme comes away with a victory from Graham Hill and Chris Amon. In the Netherlands though, Clarke comes away with a victory from Brabham and then Hulme second, as he is now 5 points clear from Rodriguez in the Cooper. Belgium, Dan Gurney comes away with a victory from Stewart and Chris Amon, still 5 points his lead as he failed to score. And France, round number 5, there is a 5th different winner in Jack Brabham, with Denny Hulme again second place on the podium, with Stewart in third, scoring 4 points, with Hulme's lead over Jack Brabham now 6. But Great Britain sees the first of the repeat winners in Jim Clarke, with Hulme second and Chris Amon third. Hulme is now 9 points clear of Brabham and Clarke. Germany, Hulme comes away with his second victory of the season, scoring 9 points from Brabham and Amon. His lead is now 12 points. However, in Canada, Brabham stabs back with a victory from Hulme and Gurney, and it is back to 9 once more. But in Italy though, Hulme fails to score any points, as Surtees comes away with a victory and Brabham in P2 scoring 6 points, with the difference now just 3. As we head to the penultimate round in the United States, Jim Clarke comes away with his third victory of the season, with Graham Hill second and Denny Hulme in third position, stretching his thin lead to just 5 points now heading into the final round. With Jim Clarke 15 behind, he is also in the championship hunt. So in order for Jim Clarke to overhaul the 15-point deficit, he needs the victory in Mexico, with both Hulme and Brabham failing to score any points. And then for Brabham to win, there are a couple permutations. If he wins, he's the champion outright, regardless of where Hulme finishes. If he's second, Hulme has to be fourth. If he's third, Hulme needs to be sixth. And if he is fourth, Hulme has to score no points. And heading into Mexico, Brabham does get second place, but Hulme is third, doing enough to become the champion by only 1 point. So unfortunately, it did not work again in 1967. Denny Hulme, the New Zealand man, is still a Formula 1 world champion. So we head to 1968, the year in which Graham Hill won his second Formula 1 world championship. So South Africa starts us off with Jim Clarke again scoring a victory from Graham Hill and Jochen Rindt in third. Spain sees the first victory for Graham Hill, scoring 9 over Hulme and Redman, stretching his lead over Clarke to 6 points. Monaco, he scores another Monaco victory with another 9 points to his name, with his lead over Hulme now 14 points. So that's already round 3, he has an entire race victories lead over second place man. But Belgium, most notably McLaren, comes away with a victory in the very first McLaren as well, scoring 9 points, with Rodriguez in second scoring 6 and Jackie Ickx as well on the podium finishing third, with Graham Hill and Hulme both failing to finish, and I've just hit the spacebar. Well, that was annoying. Anyway, Netherlands, Stewart comes away with a victory with Beltois in second and Rodriguez third, with Graham Hill again failing to score, but his lead is now 12 points, over Stewart. France sees the first victory for Jackie Ickx with Surtees second and Stewart third, with Hill again failing to finish and Stewart closing that 12-point gap to now 8. Great Britain sees a victory from Joe Siffert with Chris Amon and Jackie Ickx on the podium, with Graham Hill again failing to score any points. That is 4 times in a row now, as Jackie Ickx is within 4 points of his first place spot. Germany sees a victory for Stewart, with Hill finally bagging some points after a 4-race no-point scoring streak in second place, as he now stretches his lead over Stewart to 4 points. And in Italy, Hulme comes away with a victory, with Gavin in second and Jackie Ickx in third, with Hill again failing to score, but his lead has come down to just 3 points over Jackie Ickx now. As we head to the final 3 rounds, we go to Canada, and Hulme comes away with a victory, with McLaren second and Rodriguez in third. And we are tied at the top, with Hill on 33 and Hulme in the McLaren also on 33 points. As we head to the United States, the penultimate race, Stewart comes away with a victory from Graham Hill and John Surtees. Now there are 2 people, or 3 people really, but again Jackie Ickx is the outside man in this championship battle, but it is Stewart and Hulme that are in the title hunt with Graham Hill. So again, there are 5 permutations for Stewart to win the championship, all having to finish 2 places above Graham Hill, with Hulme having 3 permutations, having to finish 4 places above Graham Hill. But unfortunately in Mexico, Graham comes away with a victory from McLaren and Oliver, stretching his lead to 21 points at the end of the season. So it did not work in 1968. Graham Hill is still a 2-time Formula 1 world champion. What about 1969, the year in which Jackie Stewart won his first Formula 1 World Championship? South Africa starts off well for Stewart in the Matra with a victory over Graham Hill, and then in Spain he comes away with another victory from McLaren this time, stretching his lead to 5 points over Denny Hulme. But Monaco, Graham Hill comes away with his second victory in a row at the Principality, scoring 9 points, coming in second place behind Stewart in the championship, that is, not at Monaco. 3 points behind Stewart's 18. And then the Netherlands, Stewart bags his third victory in 4 races, scoring 9 points to be 10 points clear from Hulme. Stewart wins again in France to be 19 points clear of second, and then he wins again in Britain and now moves 28 points clear of Denny Hulme, the former Formula 1 world champion. But Germany, though, ends his little win streak there. Jackie Ickx comes away with a victory, but Stewart is again second. 30 points is now the difference between Stewart and McLaren. And Italy, Stewart comes away with another victory. That's victory number 6 of the season. 6 lots of 9 points, plus a couple others. It gives him 60 points, 36 points clear of McLaren. I've just realised I've titled them both Germany. One of those is supposed to be Italy, the end one, where he scores a victory over... Oh no, now I'm really confused. So the first Germany, the one after Britain, was won by Jackie Ickx, then Stewart, then McLaren. There. And then the second Germany, which should actually be Italy, Stewart won with Rindt second and Beltois third. Not 100% sure what I've said though. But without that confusion though, the championship is almost wrapped up. It could be all over by Canada, and it is all over in Canada. Jackie Ickx comes away with a victory from Brabham and Rindt, but the difference is 30 points with only 27 available in the final 2 rounds. Jackie Stewart is the 1969 Formula 1 World Champion, even with my double points finale. But Jochen Rindt comes away with a victory in the US, and then Hulme wins the double points finale in Mexico. So no, my double points finale idea still hasn't worked. We've covered 20 seasons of Formula 1 out of 70 available years, and it still hasn't worked. But are there any seasons that it will? We'll have to wait and see when I do the next 5 years of Formula 1. That's all I've got time for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one with whatever I decide to make. I'll see you then.